right here is go back. What we're gonna do right here is go back. Go back, go back, back, go back, go back, back, go back, go back, back. Way back.
Alright, and welcome back to another Kuma Style review. What we have today is actually a grail of mine, and if you don't know what grail means, that's something you've really been looking forward to, went out of your way, searched high and low, you know, just something really special. This one is Max Factory, their Max Gokin line, their Godannar. This is the twin drive mode version of them, thus the red and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty cool Gokin toy, diecast, and a character from an anime series, Godannar, that I really like. But anyway, taking a look at the box here, see a picture of the toy with some effects around it and stuff like that, as well as a big still of the anime itself. Either that or, you know, promotional art from the anime right there. Bottom of the box, Godannar with some effects. Top of the box, same style of effects and stuff like that, but doing a kick. Alright, the right side of the box. Right, similar effects, and same with the left side of the box there. Alright, back of the box really lays it out here. Picture of the toy itself, huge sword, as well as different poses, and an overview of the accessories that come in the box. What's neat here is that it kind of gives you a layout of how the joints and stuff like that work as well. So that's pretty darn cool if you ask me. From the arms to the legs to even the ab area. Right? So once again, taking a look at that. And this one doesn't have a handle or anything like that, this box. One thing I kind of dig about Max Factory is that their boxes, even those, none of them are the same. Even though they're Max Gokin line, it's a consistent, you know, standard of quality and diecast throughout. So anyways, on to the figure. Alright, taking a look at what's in the box, pretty straightforward. Alright, forgot to put one of the fists back in here. So on the rightmost side, you're going to see Godannar, as well as his giant sword up top. For this review, you'll see that his hand is attached up here to the sword, but there's an alternate handle. It's mostly for display, like right there. Okay. But me, since you have to actually screw these different sword handles in, I'm keeping the one with the hand on there because that's the most functional version of it. I really don't display weapons bases and stuff like that because of my shelves, so I won't be doing that, but I wanted you to see that's what it comes with. So just hands, sword, different handles for the sword, and the other version of his flame, which is featured later in the series. So very cool, and you'll see the variety of hands at the bottom, as well as, you know, his balance base and stuff like that. So multifunctional weapon holster here, pretty cool stuff. Now let's go ahead and dig into the figure. Alright, so taking a look at Godannar himself, this toy is a big, just beefy monster in terms of diecast. I think just percentage-wise, this has to have the most diecast on any Gokin type figure that I've ever owned. All of these legs, diecast, 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 diecast in the crotch, diecast in here in the body, the big shoulders here. I believe these biceps are as well. I think these biceps are actually plastic, but by the time I get to the part where we go over the amount of Gokin, I'll have a more definitive answer. But yeah, all throughout this body here, that's all painted diecast, which is crazy. Very crazy. So, crazy in a good way. We'll put it like that. So anyway, there's an all-around view of the figure. You'll see that it's sculpted perfectly in terms of anime accuracy and stuff like that. This is the red twin drive mode, which features the red coloring. Obviously it says red twin drive mode, but yeah, very, very cool. Now taking a look at his posability here, his neck and his head are on a ball joint. Neck where it meets the chest, head where it meets the neck. You know, that deal. Now shoulders, definitely ball jointed. Really just good tight shoulder joints here. And I love that you also have the ability to swivel them up and down. You know, give them more of a menacing look there. Okay. Doesn't have bicep swivel, but it does where the elbow is. Now, the elbow joints are actually pretty cool. Alright, so you got the elbow joint here, and it swings a bit, but you'll see it starts to actually come out there. What you do to get the rest of the joint here is, it's kind of a cheat, but it's neat. Alright, there's an area here on the forearm that pushes in, so you push that in, and then you can actually take the forearm and swing the forearm up. So to give it some extra elbow room there. So, and it's cool because that pushes in, but then when you straighten it back out, boom, extremely cohesive. So just good stuff. And he does have the revolving, Gatling area. Now I guess you just saw how the hands pop out. It's two pieces, a wrist guard and the hand, and they just peg in. And looking at the wrists, they're all on ball joints there. Interchangeable hands, none of them have like articulated fingers or anything like that. Now looking at the torso here, 3 points of articulation where the chest meets. And look at this plastic here, that's just beautiful. Alright, top of the abs has some room there, and then some swivel and movement in the waist itself. So very nice in that sense, in terms of its ab crunch and overall waist articulation in general. Alright, really strong ball jointed thighs, definite thigh swivel here. Also has swivel at the knee, which is really cool. Alright, decent amount of knee bend there. No trick double knees or anything like that. But there's like a built-in, you know how you push down on the forearms for these? This one automatically does it. So as you start to bend in, let me show you. See how that digs in deep? Excellently engineered by Max Factory there. Alright. So, pivoting feet here. There is rocking ankles. He does have ankle tilts. He does not have multiple points of articulation in the feet, but his legs are hefty enough, and the feet have enough. I like how I say the legs are heavy enough, and then I knock them down for like the first time ever. Great. But his legs are heavy enough, for the most part, to go ahead and balance that anyway. So getting him in a cool pose here. Alright. Alright. I'll go ahead and use the forearm cheat here to get some, jeez. Oh, and knock it down to make a mess. That extra bend there. So, it's easiest if you hold it up. Alright. I tried to do it without holding that side towards me. And for me personally, I need both hands to do it. So, okay. That's pegged in. Turn that in. You saw I even had him arms crossed towards the beginning of this video. Alright, and I'll switch one of his hands out. Why not? And as you can see, very posable figure. Alright? Now, just really quick, I do need to go ahead and get a height on this for you guys. Okay. And actual head is about 7.5 inches tall. So in case you're wondering about scale and things like that. Alright, so getting him back into that pose there, which I do dig. Alright, and we'll actually give them a look that's more towards the end of the show. I'll show you how this fire actually comes out. There's a peg on the back of the head here. All of this just unpegs. It's 2 pieces. And just take the other parts. And of course, I bring the peg out with me. Fantastic. Now the first time pegging this in, on each side, this is the first time I'm actually doing the blue here, it's a little bit, not necessarily difficult, but it's a tight peg. Alright, so gotta remember which side went in to his actual head. Alright, and if this does happen to you, let me focus. It's actually the short end that goes into the head, and you just gotta find the right angle and plug it back in, okay? Now since we're here with that, I'm just gonna put the 2 parts on. Longer side goes on his left, so it's a little bit easier when it's on his head. And don't worry, like when you peg it in for the first time, it's just kind of rough. So go ahead and get that there. Alright, long side on his left. And then just pegging that part in too. Boom. Alright. Alright, and the blue flame actually comes from his twin drive mode, but the difference is the evolution of another character that he merges with to form the twin drive mode in that series. So, pretty cool stuff, and it's definitely an anime worth watching. Like I said, I'm not huge on watching a lot of mecha anime because, for the most part, in my opinion, I'm pretty vocal in the fact that they're not very well written, but that one's actually pretty good. So, let's take a look at his sword. Home stretch here. Actually take this out and measuring it. The blade is about, I'd say 12 and a half inches, and then up to the end of the handle it's almost 17 and a quarter. So very, very huge sword, and that's part of the reason why you actually get this camera out here, nail that part in. Both the hilt and the handle nail in separately, so they want to make sure that's secure and whatnot. So, alright, and it just pegs in too, like normal. Now it's not huge, but one thing I don't like about the sword is that this side doesn't have the emblem and stuff like that. It's not as finished as the inside there. So going ahead and getting him in the pose with the sword actually being down. Actually, the hand back. I'll balance them out right there. Alright, you'll see this sword is freaking gigantic. So, good times. Now, putting him back some, we'll take a look at his stand too. Alright, his stand has separate points of articulation, right here and right here. And it actually comes with this little erector set style wrench so that you can go in, and each of these actually screws in these areas. Am I really doing it from the wrong side? Oops, it's this side that you screw it in on. Like, what is going on here? I know I've done this before. Okay. So boom. Just find a good ratchet spot for it. And I like it, because you know that you have security there. Alright. There's that. Okay. So get it a little bit lower. And it's pretty standard. You can just put it under here. And I use it for just, main support, stuff like that. We'll definitely do some airborne pictures and stuff like that for the photo gallery, but alright. Just to show off a little bit with the sword. Actually back this out so you can see how huge it is. Yeah, you can see that this figure is insane, and it's made to give you a very big time feel. Alright, and that's it for the figure. Let's go ahead and move into the Gokin section as well as the final thoughts.
And taking a look at the amount of die cast in Godannar, you'll see that it is pretty strategically placed in the core of his torso as well as all throughout the legs. The arms are relatively die cast free, and that's to maintain their strong joints without having that die cast weigh them down. Very well engineered and very well thought out by Max Factory.
Alright, now final thoughts on this guy. Out of all of the Max Gokin lineup figures, this is the one that commands the highest aftermarket price. I normally see it anywhere from $400 to $500, which is a lot of money. Now, I got it for significantly less than that, like not even, well, about a quarter of the 400, below 200 shipped, and definitely well worth my money. Now, would I try to seek this figure out at $400 to $500? That's hard to say. It's one of those things that eventually I'd save up for because it's a grail to me. But is it something that I'd recommend to people who are just fans of good toys and stuff like that? I'm gonna say yes. If it's something, it's one of those toys to where, yeah, if you've got it like that and really like good figures, this figure's incredible. Even at the $400 to $500 range, this one's well worth it. And even the 12-inch Max Gokin Big O, I couldn't justify recommending that to people much at $300. So that should tell you a lot when I say that I feel that this is worth $400 to $500. But that's my opinion. You've seen an overview of the toy, you've gotten its size, you've gotten its posability, you've gotten to take a look at the weapon. So judge for yourself. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below this video, or give me an email or a holler on my site as well. If you're viewing the Pictorial review as well. But anyway, this has been TJ Duckett with another Kuma Style review. This is the Max Gokin from Max Factory Godannar diecast premium action figure. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time.